Guys, before we get on with Uncle Sam, I wanted to let you know that from now through November 15th, we're going to be giving away 2 HP Tuners MPVI 2s randomly selected from Fasterproms merchandise. Also, though, we're going to be doing multiple random giveaways through Instagram. Got a lot of neat tools, a few little other odds and ends in there, some just miscellaneous, pretty darn neat stuff. We most certainly wouldn't be able to do what we do without the support from you guys. So thank you guys so much for what you do. Now, let's get on with the video. Guys, we are starting our 6-speed swap into Uncle Sam, and I am so excited to turn this fun factor up to life. It's going to be a 10. So we got our Texas Speed 427 block, and that is not it. That is basically our mock-up block, of which we were just test fitting our transmission. 427 with a blower and a manual trans ZL1 drivetrain underneath. This big pig, which also does resemble an Orca, pretty much is gonna have ZL, it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is our Texas Speed 427, and this baby is a freaking beauty. A little bit later, we'll seal this guy up, but let's get to the other stuff of what we've been doing so far. All right, so guys, we have a big hunch that the fueling system of what we have, which is a Beachworks drop-in, and then we have a Beachworks, was it a 300 or so? 350. That is a 350 IL from Beachworks. There she is right there. So that's our supplemental pump, and that works in, and that tees into the fuel system there. That is a really, it is extremely helpful. We have our doubts that we're going to be able to fuel this beast. Now, again, that has direct relation to how much boost that we're going to be running. And we might have to run an E85 blend so that we're not running as much E85. It will tax the fuel system less. So going from a 93 to fully E85, it's about between 33 to 40% more duty cycle on the injectors there. It's just that much more stress on the fuel system. So we might have to run a lower E concentration, but we can rely on our methanol in order to be able to get the fueling of what we want.
So what size injectors do we have in this? I don't even recall.
It's a good question here. Before, we had the fuel injector connection, 1,000 cc's in there. Now, though, we are going with fuel injector connection, 2,000 cc's. If our fuel pump will be able to support it, the injectors will be able to support well over probably 1,200 horsepower easily. And guys, we have made 1,000 wheel horsepower on 850cc injectors. We did it on Leroy. It can be done. If you got enough fuel system behind it, it will work. So let's take a look inside and see what Georgie's been doing. It is so weird to see 3 pedals in a freaking cop car.
Factory Caprice parking brake right here, the foot lever. You got to cut that out of here. It has a big metal bracket. And then you have to drill your holes for your clutch. 2 bolt holes and a big hole in the center for the master to go through.
All right.
I did that once before I realized you have to cut the parking brake metal out of there. So we have a little extra hole up there. But it's good for airflow, cools it down in here. I did that for you.
Oh,
anyways,
thanks.
The Camaro, this is the Caprice brake pedal also. The Camaro brake pedal up here where it mounts up was a little bit, about 1 inch shy.
Okay.
So we had to put the Caprice brake pedal back in. But the clutch, I mean, fits good. We had bolt holes up there already off of the parking brake bracket. A couple holes in the firewall. I made a little bracket to put on the back side to hold it nice and tight. And then our parking brake used to come around here. And we, right here is our parking brake. We have to get a hand control from like a G8 or something, I guess.
Okay.
And we have to make something work with that. It's like a big giant metal bracket comes through there like this. And that piece right next to you on the floor, that's what we connect
Oh yeah,
to.
This guy right there. Yep. Okay. The positioning looks perfect right there. We were talking about how we're gonna have to work the console. This is so natural. That's gonna be great. All right, guys, before I had this modular rail system there that was, you know, set up for all the stuff that, well, the duty of a cop car. However, we're going to ditch that. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, if we're going to try and find a Camaro center console. What do you...
I think we should start switching to G8 stuff.
I like your style. That's a pretty good idea there. All right, so we had a problem with the trans.
We are missing one integral part.
Yes. So somehow or another, we're missing a part.
Shifter, shaft, cover, control, assembly.
Now guys, a little bit later, we're going to fill you in on some more stuff on the S10. That'll be in another video. You have to stay tuned for that. But we have a neat modification of what we've done to make this work in that.
So instead of being a top loader, like traditional, this has a little adapter that runs it back to remote mount.
That's pretty funny looking when you do that, Laz. It's just really...
We got to locate that part. I don't know if we need to start contacting some salvage yards or what, but
if somebody has one of these and they can split with it, that would greatly help us out. Hit us up in the comments, let us know. Okay, so just a second ago, you just shoved the axle back in.
that won't come out.
Oh, look at that.
As soon as this gets a little bit of suspension travel, this axle likes to pop out. Reason being, this is a passenger side axle on the driver's side, because we had to get it thrown together and we only had 2 passenger side axles.
Yeah, and this is a true ZL1 diff. So this is a very, very beefy part. It should be able to take whatever we want to throw at it. It is what? It's like a 9.5-inch diff. So guys, we tried to order this axle right here, and it has been a little bit of a pain in the butt to try and get. Actually, that brings us to the drive shaft problem.
They don't have the capability of remanufacturing the 2-piece that this needs, so we're actually going to go to an even more local shop that does more factory OE stuff and talk to them and see what they can do, and that'll be tomorrow morning.
And we just found that out, like, what?
15 minutes ago.
Within the time that we were filming this, while George was supposed to be dropping off the drive shafts, we were hoping we could get the factory ZL1 one lengthened. All right, so this is a factory 2-piece drive shaft here, and the yoke on the factory one was much, much weaker than what was on the ZL1. Had a stronger, beefier piece there. So ideally, we wanted to try and harvest the good parts and then, you know, upgrade any of the bad stuff.
So we're either shortening the small, weak one or lengthening the beefier one.
So Laz, whatever this makes, I mean, we need to make 900 and something. Whatever it is, it's got to make more than what Neighbor makes. And guys, once we get Uncle Sam back, we'll be able to start giving more and more people rides. It's been a long time since we've done that with this vehicle in particular, but we have given a bunch of other people rides in a bunch of other vehicles. So that was always something that I really, really enjoyed, was sharing the experience of something really stupid fast, and we're trying to get back to that pretty soon here. Laz, I noticed that right there is out of the auto.
But when we did the Camaro headers on this, to make it work, we did have to put in compression fittings and went to soft line.
Yeah.
So we can take advantage of that and loop it to the factory training cooler in the TR6060.
Gotcha.
So we just need to remake these lines, get the adapters, and we'll be able to use the factory automatic transcooler in this thing to run the fluid through.
With those right there, those are a totally different style adapter than this right here. So this guy right here, that should be a 3/8 quick disconnect, I believe is what it is. So that's like, one of those is out, and this is probably the in. So this is how the factory trans cooler circuitry goes.
And that's needed. The new 6060 has a pump built into it. So that was a major upgrade for older trans.
I remember doing some road coursing with the earlier transes and on the vets, and people were using fuel pumps and threading in the stuff, you know, on the drain in order to make that work. Minimum $600 maybe if you did it yourself, on up to like $2 grand if you had somebody else do it. So
a little bit more money for a little bit newer transmission, and you get some benefits.
So much more of a benefit. So these trans right here, the TR6060 in my book, that is the most desirable trans, and that's why we went with it. So a little earlier, we had the factory trans in here. So glad to have that auto out of here. So we had our TR6060 in here and test fitted, and we came across a couple other problems. You can tell us some of the problems of what we've got to adapt and overcome.
Yeah, just being a non-native install. Camaros, that's what all our donor parts are out of, use a combination of a soft line and a hard line to go from the master to the slave. But like Russell and Earls and a couple other people, I think somebody even makes them, they make an adapter that's going to click into the quick disconnect, give us a -4 AN, and we can just run a nice braided AN line up to the master. And it's the same on both ends.
All right, so I have a clutch that is on the way. Can't wait to get that freaking monster clutch in there. That thing's going to be awesome. We'll be able to hold whatever power we can throw at it. However, Cooper has
an identical clutch.
Waiting for a good home.
small fee. Cooper, really appreciate you lending your brain to this operation with that huge cranium that you have there.
Thanks for lending it, buddy. And your clutch, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
clutch is on its way.
Thanks for coming in clutch, Cooper.
For a small fee.
We got a little situation right here.
We got our automatic mount here.
And then we have a manual mount as well.
This is
And we're
off
trying
of
to adapt these two together. Now there is some problems though. I know this has been done before. However, we're trying to come up with a reasonable solution very quickly because we just plain don't have the time.
Ever.
The
mount you have there off the ZL1 manual has the holes exactly where we need it.
So if we make this guy work, there needs to be a little relief right there. See, yeah, Cooper, that you came in. Wow.
Oh, you found one.
Problem solved. Okay, let's get on with the next problem. If we diagonally mount it with another one, we could maybe make that work.
integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? We're gonna.
Nice. What?
So we can relieve that, cut that guy out.
And we can't use this one because it is much more narrow.
Yeah. So we need to be able to have that elevated up. We're gonna try and come up with a solution for that. I have not tried to weld that, and we're not gonna have Josh for another few hours. Plus, I got a bunch of other cars that got a dyno tune today, so got a lot of stuff cooking.
A flat piece of steel and it'll go perfectly. You might need a couple washers, but it's already got a rubber bushing. It's not like you're gonna...
He's only saying this because he wants to race at FL2K.
I don't care to race this thing. I don't want to be in the lane next to this thing.
Cooperology.
This thing's
It is
gonna
a
be
thing.
kicking nuts and bolts out. I don't want to be in the lane next to it. Can I also make another request? Why are we so low on this lift?
Well, the training jack only goes so high, man. Remember what happened last
My
time?
neck is damaged.
It's that large cranium. Yesterday, Cooper is trying to sell me anything, his firstborn, a kidney, a freaking lamb from the farmer down the road,
I'm just trying
clutches,
to help you race.
used auto parts of every possible sort. He's even trying to sell me stuff that is mine. What's the deal on the clutch now?
I got it at home for a small fee. I can go get it.
What is this small fee?
Trade with some money on top for your clutch that's on its way.
Well, last time we were at the track with Uncle Sam, we had a belt come apart and pretty much just ravaged everything. Like, yeah,
This
we
was
had
our
to,
fix.
in a short amount of time, we had to duct tape all this stuff so that we could make another pass. And unfortunately, it ended in catastrophe. But still, this is
So we fixed that. Put new, wires in between there. Made it a little longer because remember it was super tight.
yeah.
So
Very nice. That's all remedied and ready to go. Late yesterday, Laz got the front and rear cover and oil pan on there, all sealed up. Looking good. Right now, getting the trunnions all in there. So we're ready to put our valve train components on. And pretty much after that, put the valve covers on, she's ready to roll, right, Laz?
yeah.
All right, so guys, we have always had Uncle Sam powered by an LSA blower as long as it's been supercharged. And right here, we have a 1.9 liter LSA supercharger. And we have done all sorts of things in order to make that little blower super efficient. So at Fasterproms, we have two major sentiments that we feel very strongly about, and they are
Efficiency?
And optimization.
amen to that, brother. We have ported the absolute junk out of this blower. This thing is a 102 millimeter snout. We have knocked the inside guts out of it pretty darn good. Let's get a little light on that. Look at that guy. In essence, this blower has probably about 4 or 5 pounds of aluminum removed from it. It is fully optimized, and we do some thermal spacers in between there to try and keep the heat from transferring from the cylinder head to the blower. And then furthermore, we have done some pretty crazy cooling modifications that were on the cheap. Now, we are still running the factory heat exchanger. It is very efficient, and we do duct the air to it and make it as efficient as we possibly can. Now, the original build with Uncle Sam was built on the cheap, like very inexpensive. We even got a cooler from Walmart that we are using as an expansion tank in the back here. Kind of curious as to what kind of moldy goodness we're gonna find back here. only mild. Maybe we should. It's got a
Smells like the S10.
little turtle tank.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, we got this thing. I wanted to say it was like maybe 76 bucks at Walmart, and we put a couple holes in it, put a Rule 2000 in the tank right there. You can throw 2 very large bags of ice in it and keep our coolant temps down. So we do have an alky control methanol system on this. We are a huge fan of that. Oh, poor Uncle Sam, hanging out under the trees for the months. And get you all cleaned up, buddy. Be back in business. Well, it's 11 o'clock and we are just about to start tuning the last car here. It's a pretty nifty one.
Yeah.
So guys, this is Mofo Buck's car, APS twin turbo Z06, and this thing should have some steam. Dude, that is a phenomenal piece. So earlier we were fumbling around and messing around with Cooper.
Clean.
Dude, that looks so good, man.
Looks like it came like that from the manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean that's all like BMR quality stuff
Fuck
right
yeah.
there, yeah. Made by Josh. Freaking sweet, man. Killer job.
Big block, small block, 427.
It is kind of a big block, small block.
As they say in the street racing world, big cute catch, small block.
That's a lot of cross-offs on that there list.
Yep. Not very many things not crossed off.
Yeah, that's more crossed off than not crossed. Hey, so I thought we had a shift knob with one of the shifters that we got.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll hunt for it though.
Yeah, maybe we should call Squirrel. I think it's going to turn up on one of his vehicles or something.
Oh yeah, I borrowed that.
What? I had to ask. Guys, one thing I totally forgot to mention about this engine was the fact that I talked with Texas Speed and I said, hey, it is extremely important that I get the Athena head gaskets that have the machine groove into the cylinder head. And that is exactly what we got. So look like the old style, like almost paper or graphite gaskets that were around on the early LS stuff. However, inside that does have the cut ring, and that is extremely effective, as which we know has worked very well on an engine without coolant with popped head gaskets.
Breaking records. We can turn it up, a little bit higher. Basically, Texas Speed motors, you don't even need a head gasket. So, we're good.
All right, so guys, we are going 6 different ways this Sunday here. We're trying to get to FL2K, and it is going to be very difficult. We have lots of different problems, but we are working through it, so we wanted to give you guys an update with it. FL2K is in, what, like 2 days?
Yeah.
2 days. So we are doing everything we can to get this thing up and running. So guys, we're going to be very busy, and we'll try and keep you updated with everything that we got going on with Uncle Sam. So thank you guys so much for watching, and God bless you. We'll see you very soon.
Check out the Fasterproms store, get you some merch. Oh, dang it. It's not a Fasterproms store.
My 9-year-old son started a channel and he took me out and he legitimately scared me drifting. You gotta check it out.